listening to the Plan Podcast. Michigan's elite political podcast is about to begin, live from the birthplace of the Republican Party. Let's gather under the oaks like our forefathers did. Now more than ever, it's time to stick to the plan.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Six to the Plan Podcast. I'm Kevin. As always, I'm here with Russ.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing today?
Not too bad. There he is.
Heard you had that Pizzuti over the weekend.
I did. I thought I had it last weekend, but this weekend was way worse.
So, I don't know, a couple Mondays ago, I had the real Epizzuti.
Yeah,
I don't know what
that's
the
why
hell it was.
that's why I had to miss last week.
101.8 degree temperature for 2 days, and but no congestion, anything, just a fever for 2 days.
I was running 102 last weekend, and then I was running 102 again this weekend. But this weekend, I had all the congestion in the throat and everything. It was bad.
Not there yet. Not going to happen. So don't be giving me more Epizzuti.
I think I should be good. I'm on antibiotics, so I'm good.
Oh, you went to the doctor?
Well, yeah, I have an autoimmune disease.
You do have autoimmune. So you just got the doctor on speed dial. They just prescribe it.
Yeah, I just call him on the phone.
They're like, yeah, he's sick. So
Yeah, here you go.
go.
Nothing fun though.
I arranged our guest Friday
Yes.
because I was dragging my feet. We didn't do a show last Monday. This is because I was still not feeling well.
I think so.
We
You
just
said you
didn't-
weren't feeling well.
We just didn't feel like
I didn't feel like it either. So
But then once the time came coming, I was like, what the hell am I going to do myself all day?
yeah,
That's what happens
I did
when
the
we
same
don't.
thing.
And we haven't missed a Monday in a very long time.
It's been a while. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
And then I went through the whole week and really hadn't thought about a guest. And then I was at the Mike Rogers Christmas party in Milford Friday, and seeing our guest, Amanda. And I'm like, Amanda, you want to be on the show? So anyways, today's guest is Republican Michigan candidate for Secretary of State, Amanda Love.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
So yes, we see each other often, Amanda.
yes. A
'cause
few times a week, it seems.
I know, I like-
Yes.
Me and Todd Gilman like to go to events, and of course, you're running a statewide campaign, so
Yes.
that is your
I'm
job
everywhere.
to go to events and to connect with precinct delegates mainly.
Yep.
And I seen you at the Mike Rogers Christmas party, which was okay fun, but a little on the boring side.
A little bit.
The
I like that ugly sweater party, though, we went to.
Yes, Saturday D2 party.
Yeah, got some
That was
family feud in. Hadn't done that in a while.
That was on the funner side.
Yes.
Not that the Rogers Christmas party wasn't good for networking and connecting. 'Cause
Sure.
all the cool people like Amanda Love and Russ Jennings were there.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was the place to be.
You know, me and Todd Gilman always say there's 100 Michigan Republican who's who in a room, and then Russ and Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
Then Russ and Todd. So, anyways, there we were. We were like, yeah, what are we doing here? By the way, the food wasn't that great Friday either.
At that point, they're asking who's who. We don't
Like,
know any of
Who's those guys?
Yeah. Okay.
We know who that Amanda Love person is by now, but who are those guys? They keep showing up
Well,
everywhere.
she's got a flyer. You're not on a
Yeah,
flyer.
at least I have that.
She does got a.
I have some cred now.
She
Street cred.
She does have a fancy palm card with her face on it and everything. And but anyways, and then Saturday come along, and it was a District 2 Christmas party, and it was a ugly sweater and taco bar.
Yeah. Did you see, speaking of Gilman, did you see his sweater? He had
Yes,
a picture
I'm
of Randy
quite-
Guppy on there.
And I
from-
voted for Gilman.
I
because of
did
that.
too, I think.
I did too, and I was surprised he didn't win.
Did
So
he place?
no, he didn't get first, second, or third.
Huh.
But you know, the darn Brian Kelly kids took the show. I say recount the votes. Let's call Secretary of State.
I was going to say the person to do that would have been me.
There's 3 of you there.
There was. Yeah,
we could have seen who can count and who can't.
Right.
I'm wondering.
That would have been a good indicator.
A little election integrity, like IRL.
Exactly.
You can't trust a J6er, and he had his kids there. For some reason, they get second place.
Whatever.
They were cute kids. Ryan Kelly has wonderful children, and they had some cute sweaters. And I think the person that won, Kevin, had I don't know if he won or the guy had beer mugs on his sweater, and they lit up, and then he had a pouch underneath, and he pushed this little button, and he was serving liberal tears.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That was a good one.
And so he got first, second, or third, and then he gave me liberal tears. I didn't realize it was alcohol. Kevin, I don't care if it's alcohol.
Yeah,
I don't drink at those events though, and it was a little strong, so I didn't drink all my liberal tears. But that
liberal tears are a little strong, huh?
Liberal tears are a little strong, but it was cool. It was fun. They had some trivia. They had "Are you smarter than a legislator?"
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, they put like 3 or 4 registrators on
where
one
the
side.
answer is always yes.
Yes.
And you'd be surprised that there's state legislators that didn't know the answer to some questions that you think they should have, like road funding. But they're.
If you're not on that committee, it's kind of like a lawyer. You think that they would know a lot about just general law, but they're very targeted as to what
I learned.
They know.
They talked about road. A question was, how is the majority of road funding currently funded?
Have you seen that flow chart for how road funding is? I mean, it's long.
So I thought for sure it was increased marijuana tax and the gas tax.
The only reason I know is because of John Wilson show.
Get this. It's the gas tax and registration. Number 1 is vehicle registration.
Yep.
Falls right into the SOS lap a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, and it makes sense when you think about it, right?
So
I think like 1.6 billion from registration goes into it.
I'm glad you know the numbers. Kevin, didn't we run into this with somebody? Never mind. Don't go there.
It wasn't regarding specifically
those
that,
numbers.
but
Those numbers.
yeah, there was a number.
So, and this is how I want to start. But that's
It
fine,
was the
Amanda.
total budget. That's what it was.
Right, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
That's how this show goes. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that brings up a good point. So Michigan has more boat registrations than any state in the country. Did you know that?
That we had the most.
Yep.
I guess I never. I maybe I didn't.
The
know
most
that.
registered-
I mean, I knew that we
Reg-
had. Yeah, I
Wait.
knew we had a high
Registered
amount,
voters
but-
or vote?
boat
Say that
registrations.
Okay.
Boat registrations.
Okay.
Well,
Which
that's a good tidbit.
that is a good tidbit.
Yes.
And which brings always made me wonder. So there's always been a dispute who has more lakes, Minnesota or Michigan.
Yes. Well,
And
and our
I'm-
license plate actually says that
We're Great Lakes.
we're Great Lakes, but there's just like the land of
Land
lakes.
Land of
Lakes.
Lakes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like their
Yeah.
state motto.
So
Mhm.
there's always been a dispute, and I think Minnesota edges us out in that number.
I think they do.
Now Minnesota probably has the same issues we do. We have lakes in the state that aren't even named. I lived on one.
Really?
Yeah. We called it Ladd Lake because it was on Ladd Road. It
it's
had no
usually
name.
lake and then whatever.
It was a creek that opened up, and it was barely the size of a lake. It was way bigger than a pond. It didn't have a name. So, but Minnesota probably has that too. You got bodies of water.
Oh,
that
I'm
haven't
sure.
even- You know how many round lakes we have? Jeez.
A ridiculous amount.
But my point to this is I was like, okay, so are there less people boating in Minnesota than in Michigan, or are we just more aggressive at registration?
I think I would guess it was both because we have more. Don't we have more lakes, like sporting lakes, where you can all sports lakes where you can do all the water skiing?
I think you might be right. Where Minnesota, like in the UP, you run into a lot of just fishing lakes and stuff. I think there's a possibility northern Minnesota might be even more
Minnesota kicks our
desolate than our
ass.
UP or similar. Or,
Kicks our ass in how many lakes?
oh, really? What is
Yeah,
the number?
Minnesota has 15,291 named lakes, we have 6,537.
What was their number?
15,291.
Over double?
Yeah.
I think Mr. Google's wrong today.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Wow, we are learning stuff today.
And that's lakes over 10 acres or more.
Yeah, I don't know what considers a lake or not. Like, why do we have unnamed lakes?
Yeah.
Where there's a line draw. So if you
Actually,
got 5 acres at a pond.
Wisconsin is number 2.
Get out of here, Kevin. Shut the show down.
Minnesota has more lakes than Michigan, and Wisconsin's number 2. Over 10 acres.
So it makes me wonder, let's go back to, since we have a candidate for Secretary of State, and by the way, you're going to tell us your resume. You know a little bit on how the Secretary of State office operates a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You worked with former Secretary of State Terry Lynn Land.
I did.
And she is a friend of yours.
Yes.
And she's like a mentor of yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to hurt everybody's feelings. Michigan's actually 7th overall in number of lakes.
I am not happy with any
and that's
of
from
your
Michigan State University. That's Michigan State University.
Yeah, and they suck.
Apparently.
Oh, my God, Kevin.
I'm just saying, Georgia's got us beat.
Georgia don't even have any lakes.
Florida's got us beat. Texas got us beat.
I'm not going for it.
Okay.
Utah?
I'm
not going for it.
Utah seems strange.
Let's go back to the original question.
Yeah, anyways.
So use your Google machine, Kevin, to figure out who has, and see if my information is correct, who has the most voter registrations.
Okay.
Seemed like Florida would be all over that.
I'm assuming. Oh, they're real big on registration down there too.
Yeah, that's how they get away with trying to eliminate property tax.
Great shit.
We don't have a lot of those options that they do.
I can't type today.
This has already gotten fun.
Yeah, I know it's already California.
Lake, though, that you have.
Okay,
because I live on a lake too.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
I have a question for you.
Keep jumping ahead here. But.
Okay. As most recent data says, Florida has the highest number of recreational boat registrations. California had previously, and they're like real close, and we were number 1, and then California took us, and Florida took us over too.
I think it's more aggressive.
So are you giving me false data that we're number 1?
Yeah, we're number 3.
I heard that on WJR one day.
Yeah, well,
WJR is never wrong, are they?
Well, you're fact checking WJR. That's good.
I listen to WJR in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's look at the U.S. boat registrations report. Can't argue that, right?
Well,
I mean, you could.
We've gone way in the weeds here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you guys continue with whatever.
Yes, I live on a lake, on a Jackson County lake. You live in Oakland County, correct?
Yes, and on Lake Oakland, in fact.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know Oakland County has a lot of lakes.
Yes.
Jackson County has a lot of lakes.
Yes.
Now, I think Oakland County has a lot of public access, and a lot of people utilize. There's a lot of drownings in the summer in Oakland County. So many people live in Oakland County. They're enjoying the lakes.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year was 3, 4, or 5 of them.
That sounds right. I think it might have been 5. And the 4th of July is typically
that's a problem. With us. Now we are fortunate as Michiganders that I'll throw out another fact that I hope Kevin doesn't find out is wrong. Nowhere in Michigan do you live where you're not within 5 or 6 miles of a lake.
I have heard that.
Yeah, probably true.
That's kind of something we're known for, right?
I love Michigan for that.
I do too.
Absolutely love Michigan for that. And I've lived most of my life on a lake. And I always say, when I talk about living on a lake, people look and I'm like, it's easy to live on a lake in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But I've always made sure that I went on my way. I mean, there's beautiful neighborhoods you can live in. And like I said, just drive 5 miles and you're at a beach or at a lake somewhere. But I've always made a point to live on the water. And I think when you live on a lake, you sacrifice a lot of other things, at least my lake. Like all the homes are very close together.
Yes.
And you got to deal with neighbors, and you got to deal with fireworks for 2 weeks straight. It doesn't matter what the law says.
True. Yes.
You got to deal with.
I think that's most lakes are going to be like that. Anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're not like you have 5 acres on a lake.
And
typically.
Kevin, you know as well as I do, when you get newbies to the lake, they move from the cities to rural Jackson County on the lake. They're very annoyed with 2 weeks of fireworks. They're very annoyed with, we have, Amanda, young people that carp fish every night. If there is no ice on the lake, they come by at night with these huge the boats with these rigged lights, and they shine for carp, and they shoot carp with a crossbow.
They shoot it.
Yep, with a crossbow. And you'll be 11:30 at night during your evening. All of a sudden, your house is lit up with all their lights.
Yeah, they can't hook them typically because their skin's too soft. They'll rip right through the lip.
Oh, well, it doesn't bother me. They move on. They shine up the light. We get a lot of new people to the lake. They absolutely hate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's lake living, and it's young people doing what I like to see young people do. They could be out doing a whole lot worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
you're right about that. And
yeah,
I don't know that we have that carp fishing on our lake. I'm on the canal end, so it's
they love canals.
Yeah, carp do.
So we do get some rogue fishermen,
sure,
but I don't have to deal with.
Yeah, you wake up on Sunday morning, they're someone out right in front of your house fishing.
Yeah,
next to your boat.
Well, it's very personal because I'm
hey,
on the edge of the canal.
You're drinking coffee, you're in your jammies.
Exactly.
You do. Those are the things that you deal with, and I think the biggest hurdle sometimes is the homes are so close. My home is over 100 years old. Started as a fishing shack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably had 7 additions on it over the 100 years.
That's exactly mine, too.
It is literally a cottage on the lake. And there's very few of them my size left. You and I were talking about the other night.
Mm-hmm.
You live on a lake. People are buying, over the years, have bought these smaller homes and
totally just demolish them. And
2 stories and everything. That's
mine's like a log cabin shack.
Oh,
but then we had all these kids, and so we had to do an extension.
You had to do that.
It was like the 4th extension.
Is it 5 children?
I have 5. Yep. So
good for you.
Yep, a couple of them sharing rooms, but we did the best we could.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And but no, the person that was doing the extension was like, this is since the 50s when it was built. It was I think number 4 or 5.
1908.
Ooh.
My house and my neighbors.
So that was one of the earlier.
It was literally, I imagine, just wooded.
That's older than Grandma's house. Grandma's house was 1930.
Wooded nothing. Fishing shack. They probably went there in the summer and fished.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe ice fished.
Hunting, maybe.
And then they added a bathroom. They added a kitchen. They added this. They added bedrooms. And now it's a home. It's probably just over what I would consider a cottage.
Yep.
But it's just me and my wife.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier than the family of 7.
You know what I'm
saying?
We're not talking about SOS stuff yet.
No, not at all. By the way, just to fact check you were very close. 6 minutes or 6 miles away from some kind of water.
Oh, a body.
Whether
water.
It's a river, a lake, or one of the Great Lakes.
A lot of rivers too.
Yeah, 6. So you were close.
Yeah,
I'll give it to you.
And
never more than 30 miles from a harbor.
No,
I did not know that one.
I don't even know where the nearest harbor is to me.
Benton Harbor is the only one I can think of.
30 miles?
I don't know. Benton Harbor is the only one I know of. Name of another harbor. Yep, exactly.
Monroe's probably got harbors. Detroit.
Yeah, I know.
All that's farther than 30
about
miles of me. I'm telling you, that Google guy, he's wrong sometimes.
That wasn't Google. That was Michigan Water Stewardship.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know what that is. It's probably ran by the state. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a .org.
All right. Let's talk about what the heck the Secretary of State does.
Yes.
I'm going. All right. You were on the show a couple months ago.
Yes.
Remotely, and you were limited in time, and we were lucky to get you in the studio today. And we love in the studio.
Yes, it's a better vibe. I remember the one I did before. I was sitting against a wall holding my phone, getting text blasting on my phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't mind remotely. We understand it. But we always love in person in the studio. it just is better, isn't it, Kevin?
Well, yeah, it's because there's no technical issues that we have to worry about.
We've had those in the past for remote. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
gosh,
Ever since we moved here, we haven't had any issues.
Remember the terrible Ryan Kennedy
That
incident?
was in house. No, that wasn't in house.
We need to get Ryan back on.
We need to.
Ryan was at the D2 Christmas party that we were referencing, speaking for Tom Leonard.
Oh.
Without an endorsement. He was clear, though.
He was clear about that, but he has to be pretty close.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's where that's at. And that probably happens because of Randy Guppy's all in on Tom Leonard, and Randy Guppy and Ryan are...
Because they're friends.
They're butt bubs.
And I've known Tom Leonard a long time. He was part of the college Republican group that I was a part of with Speaker Hall and Tom Barrett and Tom Leonard and I. So we go back too.
I love that. All right, let's focus, Ross. Kevin, you're supposed to help me with
Secretary of State.
All right.
Yes.
Three Republican candidates running for the Secretary of State position. I believe is there 2 or 3 on the Democrat side? Do you know?
There's 4 now.
4 now. Yeah. Good. Let them kill themselves over each other.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Democrats determine the nominee, but Republicans.
It's a convention.
At convention.
Mm-hmm.
And that, what is there, like 6 of them there? You know, Jackson only has two Democrat precinct delegates.
No.
They don't focus on recruiting precinct delegates. So I don't know how their state convention even looks.
I don't either.
Don't care.
But, no.
Sounds like a them problem.
But I think it's earlier than ours. I think it's in February.
Really? So we just decided, our state committee, to move the nomination convention to March 28th.
When I think the idea behind that was because of the Democrats, because they do theirs earlier.
And it gives y'all time, whoever wins out of... So let's go back. In Michigan, the precinct delegates of the state, the Republican precinct delegates of the state, choose who the nominee is for Attorney General and Secretary of State, and some U of M Board of Regents, some other things.
Yes.
Those are
Board
the
of
two.
Ed, yep.
Yep, those are the 2 biggies. And so all the precinct delegates of the state get together March 28th, and we would determine out of 3 candidates, which you are one of them, who's going to be the nominee for Secretary of State against the Democrats in the November general election.
Mm-hmm.
Just want everybody to know that. Precinct delegates are watching. And there is not a primary for those candidates. So for my Republican voting neighbors, if you ever wonder why you've never voted for those people in the primary, it's because the precinct delegates settle that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to convene, and you're one of 3 candidates. And let me tell you, Amanda, right now, all 3 candidates are pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yes, people are they're torn.
Y'all
have
your different excel in different spots that I've seen, and then some fall in different spots.
Yeah.
I think you're rocking it pretty good.
I think I'm rocking it pretty good. I think I'm a good, hybrid of all the things. I have the experience. Forlaney does have the experience too, but I can definitely go tit for tat, I think, on that with him.
I think you probably can.
And then as far as being grassroots, good on the issues, strong on election integrity, I'm strong on that issue as well. So I think that I'm kind of harnessing the best of both worlds here. I did lead on fundraising last quarter. So
did you?
Mm-hmm. So we've got that in our belt too.
You know, that's a big one, because one of the candidates probably insert a whole lot of money into their campaign if they wanted to and whether you did or not, I don't know or care.
I invested in my own race,
but I would imagine
I had some good donors too.
Some people were excited and donating to your campaign.
Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm. Most of it all of it was from private donors.
Sure,
and a lot of them were just small, delegate donations, $25, here and there.
I glanced at the last campaign finance. I just glanced at it.
Yeah,
and it.
Well, I was proud because we did have more cash on hand and fundraising than the Democratic front runner at our Byram. So
that is key.
I was proud of that.
And that is where every precinct delegate has to consider, more than likely, Barb Byram is probably going to be the nominee on the Democrat side, I guess. I don't know. She has been around a long time, England County Clerk. And she also is a Democrat powerhouse. She's well known.
Mm-hmm.
So,
although this lottery commissioner is gonna, I've heard rumblings in Lansing anyway, because she might be Benson's gal. So we'll have to see how that shakes out.
so the lottery commissioner is running for SOS.
Mm-hmm. So do you remember that there were ads that were advocating the lottery with a woman in them? That was, so that kind of explains why there
Oh.
was ads promoting the lottery. That was a different type of ad we hadn't seen in the past. Well, now it's kind of making sense because
I
that person
get
had
it.
higher aspirations.
I see.
So in an effort to build name ID,
That put that person out front.
yes. So
And,
we'll
and
see.
use taxpayers' money to do so.
Yes. Mhm.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah,
cool. You know,
that's a good
Stick to
something
Plan
they always like to do.
Stick to Plan podcast loves it when people do that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Kevin does another show with a pretty serious activist, in not only in Jackson County but used to be throughout the state. A lot of people know him. His name's John Wilson. He does a show called "Hits Home Jackson" with John Wilson.
Uh-huh.
John Wilson does not mess around.
No.
He calls out Republicans, Democrats, anywhere he thinks sniffs out bullshit. He calls it out. And I think back in the day, he used to be real active on a statewide level in the Republican Party, and he's not as well welcomed anymore because he doesn't play nice.
No, yeah.
But he's not wrong. So things like that have been brought up with Kevin. He's well versed on things.
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I'm in
With
the same
John.
room.
Me, I stay a little more careful.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but that's the hurdle. Precinct delegates have to decide who's going to be a qualified Secretary of State. We got a lot on our plate. The Secretary of State that we have right now is running for governor. She cannot be Secretary of State anymore. She's going to be running these elections.
Yep. Huge conflict of interest, to say the least.
Now,
A little bit.
this has happened in the past, right? Where the party in control of SOS is always in charge of elections, and is that candidate running? We haven't crossed this bridge before.
Let me think. I'm sure we must.
Or are we just mad because we don't trust Jocelyn Benson?
Well, I think that's kind of part of it because she's circumventing the legislature on all these rule changes, as she likes to call them, in a very. I don't understand how. I mean, I do understand what she's doing. I don't understand how she's getting away with it, but she's just completely, like I said, circumventing the legislature, and she's having us the clerks delete their poll book data 7 days after an election now. So she's preparing
Right.
us. She's
very concerning.
disavowed checkmyvote.org as being a reliable source, yet they're pulling the data that they get for that website from her qualified voter file. So that's a little bit contradictory to call that data invalid. So there's a lot that she's doing right now to set the stage for her own election.
And whoever she's preferring for SOS, probably.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to go down. Yeah.
And who she's preferring for AG, the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're notorious for that.
Yes.
The evidence is clear, if you ask me, that we have serious troubles to where I see why people don't trust our elections.
Yes.
And Amanda, I think you probably have a plan, several talking points to help change that.
Absolutely. That's my number one priority, is to secure our elections. So we're definitely going to go in day one. We're going to withdraw from the multi-state compact that we're a part of. It's called ERIC. That's the acronym. But the Electronic Registration Information Center. It's this third-party nonprofit that we're paying dues to, but they won't tell us how much.
We don't have a number.
We don't have a number, so that's something that I'm definitely going to be searching once I get there, because we've asked for it. They don't give it to us. But
they just throw whatever amount of money they tell us to give them.
I'm sure it's cheap, Kevin.
I'm sure it's
probably inexpensive.
Yeah, pennies.
And we're going to clean up the voter rolls in-house. We're going to bring it back to the state of Michigan to do that. And we're going to take off those deceased voters that we talk about all the time.
What's
lot of
what's a
those.
good plan to clean up the voter rolls? What is a good, solid plan that will work to clean up the voter rolls?
Well, it's actually quite simple. I mean,
Okay.
you can. It's like any file. The quality. I mean, it's a mess. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, to be able to look and search by birth year. I mean, for example, just people that were born in the 1800s, for example.
Sure.
That's a pretty easy search.
You would think
And
start there.
Yep, they're probably unless they're in the
What
Guinness Book of
happens when
World Records,
somebody
they should be
passes away? So a person
So-
passes away.
Mm-hmm.
There's a death certificate.
Yep.
Unless that death certificate gets to the township or county clerk, that person would remain on the voter roll, wouldn't they?
Well, the Secretary of State is supposed to be working in tandem with MDHHS on these death certificates, and once they're so you can file them. So as if somebody is very vigilant and cares about
There's gotta
our
be
elections, you can file it with the clerk.
Sure, there.
But
I don't know what the process would be, but it seems to me there should be a
yeah,
set process
there
of,
is.
of
It's
a
just
death.
not being followed.
The township clerk automatically is notified, automatically county clerk, and then SOS.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
No,
saying
there's absolutely a protocol to be followed. It's just not being followed.
I see.
Yep.
I see.
So that's something that's very easily done. Death certificates are public, and so so just working with the department. Once that death certificate's filed, they're off the voter rolls. It's really, like I was telling you, a lot of these fixes are simple. They have been done in the past.
common sense,
Yeah.
simple.
They just don't want to be done right now. Our Secretary of State doesn't want to clean up our voter rolls. That's not something she has any interest in doing.
That's been a
And she's
benefit
made that
to
quite
them.
clear. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
It's been a benefit to them. It was a plan, probably.
Uh-huh.
And you don't have to agree to that, but say, yeah, okay. You're not afraid.
I'm not afraid. I'm not.
It's
my opinion, but I'm entitled to my opinion.
How would it, let's say someone passes away and they're on the AV for an absentee ballot and they're dead.
Mhm.
It comes in the mail. The kids inherited the house. They're living there now. They get it in the mail. Somebody that lives there can fill that out and vote.
Yeah, so typically, I mean, they will get multiple, actually, in some cases, applications for an absentee.
If they're
And so
already
they
on
can-
it, though.
Yeah, if they're on the permanent, yeah. No, it's happened, and there's a huge issue with it. Typically, it is applications that we're seeing, not actual ballots. But it has happened, and it's an absolute problem because not only can they forge a signature and fill out the ballot and send it in, but the Secretary of State's not requiring the signatures to match.
That's
Yeah,
the
they
big
weren't-
one.
they weren't
So
confirming
it
the
doesn't even
signatures.
matter. You can have chicken scratch on there. It doesn't matter. They're counting it. And now she's
So-
been,
As a township clerk and poll workers, as a ballot comes in absentee, they should be able to, at least at a glance, look at a signature and match that signature.
Mhm.
You don't have to be a signature analyst to do that.
no,
If Kevin signs my name, it's going to look totally different than if I do it, even if I try to alter mine
And I've been signing his name for years.
at a
so,
glance. Yeah,
Mhm.
we have the same name.
yeah, it's
Oh.
easy.
That's a problem.
Yeah, for you.
No, it's just interesting to me, and then I go back to as a Republican county chair, especially in 24, we all jumped on the strategy of getting people to apply for their absentee ballot and voting early. So there's the 9 days of early voting. That's never going to go away. That was passed.
oh, that's in our Constitution
It's
now.
in our Constitution.
So I do have a plan to get rid of it, but I mean, it's
Okay.
it's going to be I can't do it myself. I either have to have 2/3 of the legislature
Oh,
to do it,
oh.
or we have to do a ballot initiative.
I see.
And I do plan to spearhead a ballot initiative because it needs to end. There's
So
not just that, but all of it.
would
And
you still be for loose reasons for a person to get an absentee ballot.
Oh, yeah.
Elderly, there's a process,
we
but
used
the way
to.
it used to be.
It used to
It
have
wasn't hard,
you had
but
a reason.
You had to have a reason.
No, I mean that
Gonna
was
be
just
gone.
checking a box, but I mean at least
Right.
it was something.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to have tighter restrictions around that. But yeah, of course, military. Of course, I support
Sure.
them getting. I do support mail-in ballots in certain cases, but
Mhm.
no reason AV. I do not support.
Yeah,
that.
anybody jumps on the Secretary of State website and you just get a absentee ballot. Now, let's go back to, as a county chair, since this was in our Constitution in there, Republicans have been trying really hard. Say, okay, guys, let's embrace this process. The Democrats have.
Mhm.
Let's embrace the process. Get your absentee ballot. Hold on a minute.
While he's taking a drink real quick, I just wanted to say something in the chat. They brought up one of the chatters, they're from Michigan, I know, said they got a total of 19 applications for absentee ballot in 2020 and got 0 in 2024. What would cause that? I mean,
I got none.
They went out of control in 2020
Yeah.
because they were using COVID.
The jig
as a
was up a
reason.
little bit after
Yeah.
22. They knew to be a little more careful.
yeah, because I was talking to someone else. I'm not sure what state they're from, or they said that they had moved 10 years ago and know the people that moved into the house and they still get absentee ballot. They said absentee ballots. I wonder if it weren't applications.
Yeah, most of the
to
time
their
it's
home.
applications people
Yeah.
misinterpret it.
And I told them, I'm like, oh, if you're really that worried about it, go to your Secretary of State. I'm sure they could change that. But
Township
anyways,
clerk.
yeah, I didn't know who.
So hey, please embrace getting your absentee ballot. Take your time, fill it out, right at your kitchen table, which people like that, and then take it directly to your local clerk, or better yet, during the 9 days of early voting, show up. My wife did it. I didn't. I did early voting for the first time ever, but I didn't have my ballot already filled out. I did it there. My wife did. She walked right up. Yep, go over there, and she was able to put it in the machine. To me, that's probably your best bet if you're going to do absentee ballot.
It's the only way to secure your ballot from beginning to end, too.
You take my mother, who never voted until 2016 when her only son ran for county commission. My mom never voted until I ran for county commission. And she got an absentee ballot and voted for her son. And now she never misses an election, even millages, anything. And then I don't even help her with her ballot, but she hears me yap all the time about who and how to vote
We
for.
all do.
Yeah, you can't get away from it. But
like you were saying with chain of custody, they call it chain of custody. So from the time that it leaves to the time that it's submitted, and even after, from the time of an audit potentially, we need to be able to be tracking that ballot number and where it is, the date that it's been submitted.
I get it.
And how it has been submitted. So if it's been submitted via early vote, if they can return it on election day. Most often it is returned by mail, but that data has been very sparse lately. It's been something's either been deleted, whole columns have been deleted. It's a big mess.
It's a big mess.
Yeah.
The big issue that I
So it's either incompetence or on purpose,
Yeah.
and either one is really bad.
yeah.
Right.
Well,
And I think it's a combination.
what I've ran into, just a couple people were that they showed up in person to vote, and they're like, you can't vote, you already voted.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And they're like, we didn't vote. They're like, well, you sent in an absentee.
Now you can fill out affidavit and they'll let you vote. And I don't know how they sort that out
I don't know.
when it comes to counting.
Well, yeah, but there's too many loopholes like that with the affidavit. So if you don't bring your ID, then you can also do that. There's provisional ballots. There's all sorts of kind of loopholes. So really, they're letting anybody vote if they want to, and they're getting counted.
Do you agree? Like I was trying to say, and this is where I dropped the ball in 24. So I'm running around telling everybody get their absentee ballot, and get it in the 9 days of early voting or directly to your clerk. Our suggestion was never put it in the mail. You take someone like my mother who's stuck in the mail. Okay, fine. We suggested not. And that's a strategy, because when it come to Democrats have been doing this for a while, as we chase down low propensity voters, especially in that 9 days of early voting. We knew who was left. We knew where to go. The 8th day, there's less. The 7th day, all the way up. We're hopefully knocking on those doors. What can we do to help you get? And I love that strategy, and it worked for Trump.
It did. Yeah, the too big to rig kind of strategy was way smarter, in my opinion, than the 2020, which was for everybody to kind of to come out on election day, right?
So the problem with 2020, I remember Trump and others saying, don't do it. We need Republicans to vote on election day.
Right.
And then 22, it was a mess. If you ask me 22 in Michigan, we know why. We just got smoked over a couple of ballot proposals. Got to jump on that. We're going to bring one up that we're dealing with here in Michigan that we're going to like. That hopefully gets Republicans out. But anyways, somewhere where I dropped the ball that I think we've learned on this show is to secure have your absentee ballot come to your house so somebody else can't obtain it and use it.
Yeah.
So like my wife did and I didn't. I went and got a ballot that day. First time I did it ever early vote. I voted like the 5th day of early voting at a polling location that our county had set up. I got my ballot, but just like Kevin said, you already voted. If you apply for that, you got it. It's harder for somebody to use your ballot.
Well, they would have to jump through those loopholes,
right?
To do it. That would be, I think, a whole mess. I think if someone's trying to scam, I don't think they're going to go that far. They're going to try to do the easy one as opposed to jumping through all those hoops. Right. I mean, in my opinion,
So do you agree all right, I always tell people, all right, I don't like it any more than anybody else does. I think Election Day is almost like a holiday. I love Election Day. I'm a true patriot like that.
Always loved it.
And I went kicking and screaming, but I understood the strategy and promoted it. And until that has changed ever, when you become Secretary of State and can convince the state legislature to change it or initiative, do you agree that that's a great strategy that we should still go after?
Absolutely. We need to embrace what we have, what we're given. And like you said, we did do that in 2024, and it was a better outcome for everybody. Democrats and Republicans back, so I've been around a while. Republicans, we used to be better at playing the game.
Yeah.
And back when we had an election day, we were better at pushing our people out. I remember when I was first running campaigns 20 years ago, it would be raining on election day and we'd be celebrating because the Democrats aren't going to show up.
Yeah, I remember that. You know how many polling sites I've stood out in front of helping candidates or my own candidacy, mostly helping other candidates, and running from one election site to the next because one was busy or another. That game doesn't hardly exist. No. Yes, on election day, candidates still go out because the majority of them come in that. And then I do know during the 9 days of early voting here in Jackson County, there's only one location. And so most, or if not all those 9 days, there are people out there campaigning. But it's hard to do that for 9 days. It's hard to do that on election day.
It is hard.
But you're right. I've done it in the rain.
Yep.
November cold. We still loved every bit of it.
Absolutely. And we need to embrace that. We need to do that. We need to organize better. And yeah, I get it's 9 days, but I mean, like you said, it's consolidated into one. So you just need to man that location, that one location. And people, especially for the nonpartisan races or the down ballot races, people don't know who they're voting for. And when they walk in,
it's so hard on the nonpartisan.
It is. I ran an election and a nonpartisan race as a conservative, and it's difficult to get your message out there because you're not capturing the automatic 30% or because you have an R next to your name. Yeah. You have to make everybody aware that you're
when you go straight ticket Republican, you still have these partisan races. We went through that in 24, primarily with our Supreme Court candidates who got waxed, and we had awesome Supreme Court candidates. Two things happened with that. The Democrats have a mechanism to where they fundraise for their Supreme Court candidates all the time. And it doesn't matter who those candidates are. There's money waiting for them after the August primary. The problem with Republicans, the two that we had this time and in the past, no one raised any money for them until after the August primary, and it isn't enough money to catch up what the Democrats had to spend. One of the candidates, God, why am I forgetting his name? He used to be a state house representative. Loved the guy out of Hillsdale.
We were talking about.
Ran for Supreme Court. Why am I
Yeah,
forgetting?
I know who you're talking about. He works in the House now.
Yeah, he's their attorney.
Yeah.
I like the guy a lot.
Fink.
Andy Fink. Sorry, Andy. He's not watching the show, but
I've heard you talk about him before. So.
Yeah, I like Andy. Speaking of, this is just between me and Kevin. Me and this Hillsdale fight for a very, very long time. They don't like Andy a whole lot. Andy was a rockin' state rep. It doesn't matter how he got there. He rocked, man. But he told me after, he said, Russ, if I lose this race, I'm going to dedicate my time to coming up with a mechanism to where we fundraise all the time for our Supreme Court candidates. Now, whether he's done that or not, I have not heard. I do know he's awful busy as the Republican House attorney.
Yep.
And I've seen him up there. And but
no, keeping him busy, but that's a great.
That memechanism does
need
to
fundraise.
exist. Yeah. And that's something we went in the weeds again, but that's important stuff. Talk about what the Secretary of State does, and then briefly, and then because a lot of normal voters just think of the DMV side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think since 2020, more and more of them have realized that the Secretary of State is the chief
elections officer
of the state, not the boss, but oversees the county clerks, the township clerks. Remember, our county clerks and township clerks are elected, and they work for themselves, but
they work for the people.
That's right. They guidelines are set down from Secretary of State. And that's how you should run your elections, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, we have a huge role in that. And like you said, we're not the boss technically, but we do oversee it, and we have a lot of the policy element of things.
Mm-hmm.
Is what we oversee. So it's funny that you say that the general population. Yeah, you're right. They see Secretary of State at the branch offices because there's videos playing and
sure.
But convention delegates. They don't even know that it's just all about the elections.
You're very right.
Elections. So it's a little bit interesting.
Precinct delegates definitely know the Secretary of State controls our elections.
They're probably the only large group that really knows, because before this election season, and we've been talking on the show, I knew it, but I wasn't aware of it, I guess, about that they were in charge of the election. I always just saw Secretary of State as the DMV side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always reference my Republican voting neighbors, which I think almost every one of them vote Republican.
Probably.
They think of the DMV side.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think 2020, 2022, more of them changed.
Really changed.
But you're right. Your campaign right now is to focus on the precinct delegates.
Oh, yeah.
And then once you become the nominee, it's to focus with the general public to win the general. In the DMV side will be part of your conversation, I would suspect.
Yes, it is. And I was actually just talking to my team up here, and I actually have gotten so I have some ideas on the DMV side of things, and it's actually making more traction than I originally thought with the delegates, because everybody wants lower registration fees, right?
Right.
But ultimately, the elections is where the bread and butter is.
You said something Saturday event, and I heard you say it before, a great idea to identify legal citizens in voting is to change the ID to a different color.
Yep. So
why would they have an ID anyhow? Shouldn't be a driver's license, but it could be an ID, right?
So it's not an ID.
Okay.
So it's a license to drive. So that's ultimately what a driver's license is. Now, you can get a Michigan ID card without a license to drive, but the intention of a driver's license is to show that you can drive. Now, there's a little bit of confusion with my plan because illegal immigrants, there's no reason that they will ever have a driver's license under my watch. But there are legal citizens here.
Okay.
And that's an issue because, well, it's not an issue that they're here legally. That's a good thing that they're here legally, but they are getting driver's licenses, and that's okay. If they're here on a legal visa, they need to
Be able to
drive to
drive.
class, drive to work,
Right.
whatever. They can have that, but most people, especially a poll worker, if they see a driver's license, they don't consider that a license to drive. They consider that an ID.
Okay.
And if they're on the voter rolls, which they often are getting on because of the same day registration rules and all that sort of thing, so the poll workers are looking at this and saying and handing them a ballot to no fault of their own. So our intent is to make that identifiable to the poll worker, and similar to the youth, right? So if you're under 21, you have a license, it's vertical.
Yeah.
So the bartender cannot serve you. Well,
And
we're gonna
I have
do,
a question about that when you continue your
Sure.
thought, but
Yeah. I mean, Kevin both.
So that's the concept, is to make.
So you're saying if you're here on a work visa, legally on a work visa, but you are not an American citizen, of
Mhm.
course you can get a driver's license because there's reasons why you might need one.
Mhm.
But if you change the way that identification looks, that person shouldn't be able to vote.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not. It's just saying this person is not a citizen.
Okay.
And they should not vote. They don't have the right to vote.
Don't
They
have
have
the
the
right
right
to
to drive.
Okay.
They do not have the right to vote.
And you're talking maybe a different color or something.
Yeah.
like
So
that.
there's we bounced around several
Sure.
ideas. Obviously,
And
we
can
couldn't
you
the
do that
vertical
as the
thing.
Secretary of State, or does that take state legislature? Or is that just
That we can do.
Okay.
Yep, that we can do.
yeah, and I'm thinking that also. I mean, I was thinking what other practical applications does that have immediately? I thought like if they're to buy a firearm or something like that. I mean, obviously it would help the gun dealer to weed them out immediately.
the gun dealer is a little more critical of an identification
Right.
than the 90-year-old lady working at the polls.
Yeah, but it's just as
It doesn't
it's just
hurt.
as-
I mean, it
but I'm
does,
sure it
yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That is a challenge with poll workers, although we've pushed a lot and have recruited a lot of encouraged people to be poll workers. There was a big focus on Wayne County, but we needed them here in Jackson County also. Every township runs short on them. But you go in there, and for years and years, it'd be very, very retired senior citizens.
Oh yeah, I always remember.
They always act like they've never done it, and you're like, oh my god, and they're trying to match it up. But you gotta love them because they're doing that.
Yeah, they're volunteering. I mean,
Yeah.
But I noticed last time you went in, of course, those people were still there, but there were some younger people there because we pushed really hard
Mhm.
for people to apply for those jobs.
where I went and voted, what is it called? Down there at the park, Booth Center.
Yeah.
They were all old ladies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Leone's really like that. The
Yeah.
same old ones that your grandma's known forever.
Well, I think it was the city. I think I voted in the city.
I know that, but Leone,
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
example,
oh, yeah.
I don't remember. They've all known your grandma for 50 years.
The people at the Booth Center knew my grandma.
Yeah.
Of course, well, that's that grandma.
But yeah, that's something I noticed. Is not only as a voter, but I worked as an election inspector, and I was always known as the kid.
We're
to
gonna,
the-
yeah, you
know,
were.
Yeah.
So you were doing that long before the push. You were involved with.
Yes, I've been an election inspector since I think 2010, something like that.
Poll watcher, poll challenger, that
Yes,
category.
but
then-
sometimes I'm not able to because I'm running campaigns and we have to
That's-
be working the polls as an
That's
election side.
That's where I've
so-
been for 6 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I'm pushing really hard for people to. First, it was either poll challengers or poll watchers, and then it was like, hey, you might as well get paid. Why don't you be a poll worker? And we push for that. I've never have done that. I'm usually answering my phone. County chairs get phone calls on Jackson County. Don't get a flow of them. I'll get 10 of them that day about, hey, this happened at this site or that, and then you make the call.
Well, we were advertising to call your county chair if there's
Why,
some
thanks.
election fraud.
There you
But
go.
I'm trying to
but
take
you're
a
gonna
nap.
like this because one of my plans is to have inside the Secretary of State's office, we're going to have a tip line. And it's going to be, we're going to staff the Secretary of State's office with very seasoned attorneys on election law.
Okay.
And so that if you do see something, we're not going to be bothering county chairs anymore. We are going to be bothering the Secretary of State. Now, I mean, that was a better plan than nothing.
I'm
but
going
we
to
didn't
tell
have
you
a
where the
plan.
problem lied. is, and I'm sure larger counties had more phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't quite certain where to direct the complaint.
Right.
You guys didn't explain that, or not you guys.
Well, there was
the
nothing.
party didn't
Yeah,
explain that.
There was no plan.
Now,
other than,
I have a great relationship with my county clerk.
That's good.
We have a solid county clerk here in Jackson County.
Yeah.
I just called her.
Okay, that's
I
good.
threw it in her lap.
But,
and
yeah,
I
somewhere
know,
like Oakland, where it's a Democratic county clerk,
yeah,
you know, I was part of it. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
You know, they don't know what to do, so that's why I came up with that tip line. One of the reasons is
Good.
to
I think it's a good thing to have.
Yeah, and we need it because I've been there, and even if it's just to answer questions too, like we were talking about earlier, when you get to the polling site and it says, "Oh, you've already voted," well, people don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I didn't already vote. Yeah, so
if you do that in my township, the poll workers have no idea. They get a hold of the clerk. She comes out.
I think that's anywhere.
Or the deputy.
I mean, generally,
our deputy usually knows more about elections than the clerk does. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Well, and that happens in a lot of townships, because the deputy's been maybe around longer and dealt with that, so that's fine. I'm going to ask you to pretty much give us the same presentation that you did, say, Saturday night. But first, I'm going to lead into, hopefully, I think a question Kevin had that I was thinking too.
I think we're both thinking the same.
Vertical IDs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm a former bar owner. I've worked in and out of bars, in and out 20 years. Kevin's got a solid 20 years in that industry.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
I owned a bar. Kevin managed it for me. We worked it together.
We have 3 other bars since then.
But what happened in I don't see this happening with your ID on citizens only vote portion of things. But what happens with vertical ID, and Kevin's going to jump in here in a minute. So young people don't get driver's licenses until later. We used to all get them when we were 16. Yeah. You don't get one until you're 19 or 20 years old. And boom, there's your vertical ID. And it doesn't expire for 4 years or whatever the heck it is. And you turn 21 and you're still stuck with that vertical ID.
Not if you have a driver's license. And it was 5 years, I believe, for a driver's license. So 16 to 21. If so, you get it at 16. But what he was alluding to is my ex-wife. She never had a driver's license. She was 23, 24. Still had a vertical ID, still valid. Wasn't expired or anything like that. And I think that's. I'm pretty sure that we're talking about the same question.
Sure.
Is there a way to combat that other than obviously? I mean, it's set up for. So if you have a vertical ID, you typically would just tell them to go away. But
let me clear this up too.
Yes.
So as a bar owner, a person would be 21. They still have a vertical ID. Now, they could probably, because it hasn't expired yet. Yes, they could probably go down to Secretary of State and get a horizontal ID.
They can.
But most don't. And so they walk in, I'm 21 or I'm 22. They plop the vertical ID out, and the bar owner, bar management, recoils. Okay? You stare, you're doing the math. Okay, you're 21. All right, you serve them. Now, as an owner, although Kevin never followed this, okay, I would say no verticals at all. I don't care how old they are.
I typically did. I mean, most of the time I did because it was easier.
I was like, no verticals at all, no matter
lazy.
what.
I'm not going to do the math.
No, but they're like, well, let's pack the house. And I should have thought of that as an owner too. If you're doing your due diligence checking ID, vertical or horizontal, but this is what happens. So, Kevin, this is hilarious how this works, and you've seen it before. A decoy walks in. A decoy hands a vertical ID to the bartender and still gets served because normally the bartender is too busy or not smart enough to do the math.
Too lazy.
They cannot trick you, lie to you, or nothing.
They can't present a fake ID to you. If they present an ID to you that looks close enough and with the date, then with their over 21 birthday, technically that's entrapment.
Anyways, boom, there's the drink, vertical ID. Boom, next thing you know, you got a ticket because your bartender didn't do the math and looked at a vertical ID, which I wanted to strangle that person. It happened to me once.
Yeah. Now, when you say decoy, When I was a server, we called them secret shoppers. Are
Same-
these
same-
the, okay,
same
is
thing.
that
Same
what
idea.
we're talking
Same
about?
idea.
Okay.
Yeah. They
Okay.
come in. They look obviously.
They're,
I would like
they're
to s-
terrible.
I would
They
like-
You can
always order
sniff
a Bud
them out.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
beat them all except for one. We really
Yeah,
did.
And that was based on the math. They
on
had
the
a
math.
vertical
The
ID,
bartender
but
knew how to do the math, or the doorman, or whatever.
Yeah, it was
Here it is.
a weird situation.
I would
too.
like to see a mechanism to somehow, and I have no idea how, when a person turns 21, somehow they automatically get that horizontal ID. It screws up the system, the vertical ID, when you got a lot of people over 21 still running around with a vertical ID.
I think
Maybe they need to do their own due diligence and go pay to get it done.
Well, that's-
but- and I maybe
good
it
theory.
doesn't
So is
matter.
your question? You want me to automatically send them their ID on their birthday?
or at least a notice?
I think it's just an expiration on their 21st birthday. But I just don't know how that sounds like a pile of paperwork. That's going to be a pain in the ass to, if someone gets their ID at
It's
20.
technically going to
It's
be
a
a
good
little
way
bit
to
of a
pick up-
tax hike, right? Because you're going to have to.
Yeah, it's a good way
Yeah.
to get $10 out of them again, huh?
Yeah. So,
well, if they want to keep a vertical ID for whatever reason,
yeah, I don't see why they would want to, but no,
No.
it's just a matter of, like you said, they're not going to go proactively and,
yeah.
and
Because
do
if-
that themselves.
And I don't know if you know this, but I think the IDs are good for 10 years.
And the 5.
I think it's 5.
I think driver's license is 5. For some reason, the
Passport's 10.
the ID. That's the reason my ex-wife had a vertical ID is because it hadn't expired. Because the length of time before it expired was longer. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Are we under enhanced ID process right currently now to fly?
So the enhanced ID is different. So there's 2 systems going on. So the enhanced ID is a Michigan thing.
Yep.
But the real ID is what you're referring to, and that's a federal program.
Yeah, but don't you get that through sectors?
Well, yes, but it's I'm just letting you know because a lot of times those
Okay.
those languages get
Yeah,
mixed
I didn't
up,
know.
and so they're different, and so that was a federal mandate that in
Yep.
order to fly,
And that's current right now. You can't fly anywhere in America unless you've got
real ID.
the real ID.
real ID.
Right.
Yep. And
A
so
year
but
ago,
the
you
enhanced
could, now.
ID was basically it was a Michigan.
So if I want to
centric-
go to Florida in February or March, I better go take care of that, huh?
well, the feds are going to come after you if you don't. No, they're not going to let you on the plane.
On the plane.
Yeah,
Which
but
is almost worse than the feds coming after you.
Well, so a year ago when this was
Yeah.
coming up, everybody's hair was on fire because everybody's rushing to do it. Now it's probably pretty routine. You go down there, and within a couple of weeks, you would have it. I think there was a delay getting and so there was a rush for people to go down and get their real IDs.
yes,
I'm sure they've got that
it's
figured
just a
out.
matter
now.
of getting people in to do
Another
it.
Secretary of State question, and you and I talked about it. I think when you're on the show remotely, my wife doesn't love the DMV side of things, but the
Who
experience,
does?
Yeah,
I know.
I was about to say the same thing.
the experience
who
at the
does?
DMV since COVID is way easier if you're don't mind jumping online and getting an appointment, show up. You're in and out in a hurry, fast as you've ever seen. Kevin's experienced this, and then my wife also works at with seniors and senior housing, and those people tend not to go online to get, and they want to maybe just show up or make a phone call to make. They would prefer to make a phone call to make an
You're teeing
appointment.
me up. You're
Can-
teeing me up for my plan here.
Can
yeah.
do you have a plan to
I
make that
do.
easier? And then Kevin, I think I said, let's say I buy a car after work at 3:30 and I want to get it plated. All right, but I can't just run down to the Secretary of State without an appointment. I have to wait 3, 4, 5 days in order to get that
takes
car.
the fun out of it.
I know. So
And there's a grace period that
You
keep saying-
can have a dealer plate.
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah, but you buy it from a private citizen. I don't think
I
there's
was
Kevin. I don't
told-
think there is a.
I was told with the title you have 3 days.
I think it's a 3-day grace period to transfer.
no plate at all.
title.
You can't or use the plate that's on there.
Well, no,
None of
you
us
don't want
should give
no,
that
no,
advice.
don't use the plate that's on there.
Just drive around with
The
no plate.
state officer told me that. Nope, drive around with no plate when you get pulled over.
Yeah,
make sure
good
you have
luck
your
with
title.
that. But you're going to be busy for a few days.
Yeah,
But no, the
Anyways.
2-part plan is a phone number, and it's going to just be a 1-800 number. We're going to advertise.
Will
and
a
it's
human
gonna-
answer it? Will
It's
it
going to be a
uh,
human. It's going to be a branch
because
office
old
employee.
people hate press 1, press 2, and all that too.
They hate that. They hate whatever AI person or person from India, whatever.
Uh-huh.
They're not
AI
fans.
right lately.
But no, it's been more of that AI lately.
Cheaper. It's
Yeah,
even cheaper than outsourcing.
right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have it. No, it's gonna just be auto directed to the nearest branch office, and they can schedule that appointment for you online, and then
to me
they can
that'd
write
be
it
so
in their
easy to
date
do.
book.
Similar to
It's-
DHS.
telling you these solutions are not difficult.
Yeah, DHS
We
does
just
that
hit-
where if you call the 1-844 number or whatever, and I mean, yeah, there are prompts you have to hit, but if you want to speak to whatever they call them, their agents or whatever, they send you to like if you're from Jackson.
Oh,
send
the
you to
Jackson branch.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, there's systems in place for this already. It's
Yeah,
not a totally new concept.
yeah.
I hate to admit,
Okay.
but I do
Let's say
want to
so
incorporate that.
You're
so
paying a person, people that answer the phone, Secretary of State. Hey,
we're
my
not
name.
paying them anymore because we're going to be staffing the branch offices according
Would
to
the phone
their
ring at the
flow.
branch office or come to a central and then they'd patch you into a branch office? And then they're required, somebody needs to answer the phone. There's always 12 of them standing there.
So I've been told that the technology is there, that we're going to be
Mm-hmm.
able to skip that step. So
Okay.
it can be now with the geolocating, you can be navigated towards the nearest branch. Now I don't until I'm in there. I can't guarantee exactly.
Those are just some things that I think would make the DMV side a little
Right.
simpler.
Absolutely. And we're going to guarantee also on top of that, we are going to be guaranteed that you can do a walk-in appointment again. Now you're going to have to wait longer, likely, than the people with the appointment, but we are going to guarantee that you can be seen if you walk in, because that's, and like I said, we have a plan too with staffing. So a lot of times you walk into a branch office, at least in my experience, there's people there, they're waiting in line for their appointment time. Somebody's sitting on their phone at their computer. So we're going to have an accountability system. So we're going to have every average wait time for the day. We're going to have that being reported.
Yeah.
So if there are problem areas, there's problem branch areas even to this day where people are still waiting and it's a long line. So we're going to remedy that, and we're going to.
If COVID wasn't put upon us, I'll guarantee you our current Secretary of State would not have come up with the system that we're under now.
I
Sure,
don't. We would still be
that's
pulling
the
numbers.
One good thing about the one good
COVID.
thing about COVID.
There's
No, the appointment system's good because
Yeah.
it definitely does direct
I do like
traffic. The flow is a
Yeah.
lot better, so people are coming in at different times of the day. We're going to keep the appointment system.
all right. Yeah,
So
of course.
there's
you
going to
are.
be So there's.
I'm
we're
not
gonna
voting
keep
for
that.
you if you're getting away with
No.
away with
No.
it.
we're
Well, I
keeping the
think it's a very
appointments.
easy system too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're tech
Don't break-
savvy
don't-
at all, you
Don't
can
fix
do
what
it.
isn't broke.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But now, like
We can
you're-
enhance it though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like you said, with my grandparents, they call me and they say, "Hey, Kevin, get online and
Yeah.
give me a Secretary of State appointment."
Yep.
But they would call. But as far as the walk-ins, I did a walk-in just because I was on that side of town and I had to do something, and they just told me I had to wait and see if somebody didn't come in for an appointment.
Yep.
And,
And a lot of-
but there was no guarantee that
There's
I'd be
no
seen.
guarantee. Yep.
So
we're
I
gonna
had to
guarantee it.
only had to wait a few minutes, but I got lucky.
Yeah.
So
I
And
have
most
heard where
places will
people
do
haven't
that.
gotten seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been people that
Yeah,
have been
I'm
turned
sure.
away, and
I'm
so we
sure.
are going to guarantee it. Now, if you're going up north, and
Mm.
these days, I mean, there's no issue.
Yeah.
They're going to put you in at the next appointment. You're seen, but
Yeah.
at least on some of the east side, they're getting turned away,
I imagine.
and especially with these. A lot of complaints I've heard about is from out-of-staters. So they're here handling an estate.
Oh boy.
Their mother passed away, or something
Yeah.
like that. They're trying to come in. There's not an appointment for a week and a half. Well, now they're having to come back from Texas to come in and transfer the title. It's caused headaches, and it doesn't need to be that way.
No.
Your presentation Saturday, you brought up something that I encountered at the Secretary of State's office, and that is an interpreter.
Mm-hmm.
I think Spanish of descent. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish, but it sounded Spanish to me, right? They had to go to a separate section, and then an interpreter had to interpret and literally help them fill out the whole darn form.
Yeah.
Me and my wife.
You've seen this?
Huh?
You saw it? In
I
real?
watched it. So you mentioned this Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I've seen it. Me and the wife were like, what the hell's going on over there?
Oh, they're
What would possibly this person need that we're accommodating. You don't even know how to read or speak the language.
Yep.
And you've kind of got a plan for that.
I do.
You do.
Because
I don't want to be like California. And just
You're the first one that's brought this up.
Give a CDL to a non-English speaker that doesn't even know the signs.
Yeah. Well, that's been a huge issue, and it's causing deaths.
Yeah.
Because, and actually, if we have a minute, I'll read the email that I got. I got an
Yeah,
email.
we're good.
And I'm thinking it was going to be some hate mail because their, what was it, Jordan? Their dad came here on a.
Jordan says yes.
Yeah, their dad came here and
With a
he
concern
witnessed
on his
something.
face. We have a spectator today in the studio. That's been happening a lot, Kevin.
Well, yeah, we've had important people though.
These important people come with like a driver or something. I don't know what it is. This guy over here, he seems like he's kind of smart.
Babysitter or something. Yeah.
Was that a knock?
No, not at all.
Well, not all of them. Well, they've all been kind of smart people. Tom Leonard has a smart guy with him.
Yeah, and
It's like his main campaign guy.
The girl with Monica seemed kind of smart. I talked to her for a second, but
I think they were all kind of smart.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't dumb, I don't think.
By the way, that's the first time I met Tom Leonard's guy, and he's like the guy.
Yeah.
That's who you go to.
Yeah, he was nice.
He's like
cool guy.
And he is smart. I like him too. Mm-hmm. We went down and watched the third 3-year-olds. Give us your
But no, yeah, go ahead.
Let's say I loved Saturday's presentation. Amanda, I've seen your presentation I don't know how many damn times.
So you liked it.
I've
been getting some heat for it. So
give me that presentation. Let's say you're back at Saturday and let's talk about what you said there.
Okay.
So we've got, about 15 minutes and I do have some things I have to talk about. So let's do that. Although I hope this doesn't create a lot of questions. It probably will. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we've been through a few of them.
Yeah.
Because we talked about voter rolls, I believe.
Yes.
So we got that one. We've talked about the tip line.
Yep, we sure did.
So
now we've talked about interpreters. We're trying to figure
so
that.
I'm gonna find that email just because I found it entertaining. But no, I want to just touch on that a little bit more with the interpreters. Yeah. So with those of you listening, so the people, and it's mainly for CDLs, but it's with driver's licenses too.
Because that's dangerous also.
Oh, absolutely. So these truck drivers are coming here from, and I'm sure that most people here have heard of the tragedy of the Putnam family.
Yes.
So that's kind of what was the inspiration behind it.
There's been two separate incidents in the last, 6 months?
There's one in
the one with the U-turn, and then the other one was the guy just didn't stop.
The Putman family was a prominent, known family in the state, and very loved by a lot of Republicans. And I didn't realize that wasn't illegal.
It was a Russian. Didn't know a lick of English.
This is actually a third incident because the other two were Indian.
Because the mainstream ain't bringing that up.
No,
they're bringing up what's coming out of California. So that's a problem here in Michigan.
Yeah, and here's the email that I was referring to. So this person's dad was here. He knew no English. So when he immigrated, he also often told me about problems he had because of not being able to read English. One specific example he gave me was the road sign, drive carefully. In carefully, he saw two words, car and full. He interpreted that to mean that you should be driving with the pedal to the metal. However, he thought that was odd because the drive carefully sign was usually posted on roads that one would not consider to be safe, but he did, in fact, go faster.
Get out of here, Amanda.
That was not...
In an odd way that makes sense.
It reminds me of, wish I knew the joke. You know where you're driving along and it has the deer?
Oh, yeah. How do the deer know where to cross?
How do the deer know to cross here, you know? And so, same thing.
Yep.
Be careful. That's where they're allowed to go.
But
not a mile down the road, right here.
If you don't know English, I can see where that would be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're picking apart what you did the best you can. And I remember as a kid, I misinterpreted road signs. I
do remember that now too. Pass with care. Do not pass.
Yes.
The lines.
Yep.
The lines though. I mean,
that makes more sense.
I think symbolism probably is a little easier, but do not pass or pass with care.
That's do not pass. I always.
Yeah. I mean, stop. I mean, I think universally the octagon is used most places, but
that one I think is
Kevin. Your mom used to say when you see a sign that said "Stop ahead," she goes, "Stop ahead."
yeah.
Oh, well,
Your mom was weird like that.
yeah.
But that's a problem. I mean,
I get it.
Literal interpretations is a thing. And
So, do you think Michigan is issuing CDLs to non-speaking non-citizens at the level or anywhere near the level as California? Because the problem seems to be the focus in the legacy media is California is doing that, maybe New York. Is that happening in Michigan?
it is more than you'd think, because especially with Canada and the border.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yep. So I'm not going to say it's as high as California.
Yeah, I know for
it's
instance, one of the instances I knew about was a Indian man who came through the Mexican border. So that's why California is really on because that's where you would go. I mean, why would you go to New Mexico? You would go to California looking for a job. I mean,
a lot of trucking when you drive down Interstate 94, and you're on a lot of interstates, but Jackson, Interstate 94 cuts right through Jackson. If you pay attention to the license plate, most of them are on Ontario.
Yep.
A lot of trucks on the road are in Ontario. And so that means they're obtaining CDLs in Canada, I would guess. And we don't know what the heck, who they're giving them to over there.
I imagine that their standards are more lax than ours.
From what I understand of Canada, that's a problem. Yeah. That's a serious problem.
It is, and these interpreters are walking them through not just their written exam, but they're coming with them in the.
Sounds like they're filling them out for them.
Yeah.
What possibly could a person need that doesn't know how to read or speak English, like I witnessed at the Secretary of State's office? I don't know what they were requesting me help at. I'm trying to imagine what is it they were even there for.
They were taking the test
to drive.
Written test. There's a written and a driving test, and the
scarier than I
interpreters
thought.
are there for both.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's
Me and my wife knew something was wrong. We weren't comfortable with it. I was trying to dip from a distance.
There's probably a question: do you speak English? And they're like, "Yep."
I should have paid attention in my Spanish class in high school, but
No.
I was failing English. How the heck am I going to pass Spanish? But I did take a Spanish class.
I did too. I had to. That's the only foreign language we had.
Wow. It's kind of scary, Amanda.
Terrifying.
It's very
Will you help us fix that?
I will.
You're the only candidate. I've seen all three candidates.
I'm the only candidate talking about that. I'm the only candidate actually coming up with any. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are kind of getting a reputation for the campaign of ideas.
You are creative.
And thank you. I think I'm pretty common sense, though. I mean, these are
government
pretty common
needs some
sense
common
solutions.
sense.
She's trying to fix issues instead of just taking
By the
a
way,
job.
Right.
Jocelyn Hudson
yeah,
is an
I actually
attorney.
want to do the job.
She's an attorney.
She is.
Okay.
Well, she had some Harvard clout, but I mean, she ultimately had no experience with anything
Sometimes
Secretary of
that
State related.
creates a severe lack of common sense.
You're that interesting.
Attorneys a lot of times are different. They think differently. Highly educated people think differently, and sometimes common sense isn't part of that.
I come from a sales background, and I sold high-end burglar alarms back before you could buy camera systems online, CCTV, access control, a lot of technical stuff. I'm not a technical guy. I was just a salesperson, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, as a salesperson, you're just trying to get any sale you can. I was successful at it, but you would take it back and you would give it to the, not engineers, but you would give it to project managers. Mm-hmm. And they were usually educated CAD people in tech. Their thought process was always different than mine. And finding that medium is where we needed to be. And often that was very, very hard. Not to say the sales guy was correct, because we were aggressive and wanted to sell, but trying to match it up. Same thing happens when you have too many engineers. I always say, like with multiple roundabouts, boy, they should threw at least one normal guy into that mix instead of the engineers. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing here.
Engineers go off the math.
You're not an attorney, are you?
Nope. So I often get asked that because I did have experience within the Attorney General's office. But
that's right. You've said that Saturday too.
Yes, I'm leaning into my experience and my platform and
my
ideas.
You do that.
We're doing.
You do that.
But you've touched on it. I mean, I'm the only candidate that's worked inside the Secretary of State's office, and I really got hands-on experience on what it was like to be the Secretary of State, which is a very unique role. Of course, we've touched on the election side and then the DMV side, but it's also we're overseeing document certification, so we're overseeing notaries, and we're actually the protector of the Great Seal. So there's different elements to the job that not everybody knows about. And the thing about me, I think, is obviously the experience I have it with the AG, the Secretary of State. I also have extensive legislative experience. So believe it or not, the legislators aren't actually in there writing bills. They oftentimes, if they're sponsoring it, they'll read it. But even that's not always 100%. But so I have experience writing legislation and public policy, and I've worked in several different departments. I've oversaw many legislative offices, so I have kind of that. And I don't like using the word trifecta because it's associated with negative terms, but I definitely have that in a positive way with my experience side. And so not only do I have the common sense ideas and solutions, but I'm going to know how to get things done once I get there. And that's something that we're going to need. I think a business, outsider, I think that could be appealing for the role of governor or something like that. But for Secretary of State, you're going to want somebody in there who knows how to do the job and how to get things done, because we're going to have a lot of work to do once we get there. So that's really why I think I'm gaining traction. I haven't seen the other candidates coming up with anything
too creative.
No, I mean, we're all talking about cleaning up the voter rolls,
Sure.
And that's a must. But even how to do that was kind of the ideas came from my campaign on how exactly to do that. So we're definitely getting our message out there. I think one of my appeals too is this isn't just another step in my political career. I'm not using this as a stepping stone.
You're not gonna run for governor?
I'm not going to run for governor. I don't want to be governor. I'm a strange individual who just wants to be Secretary of State.
Hey.
I've lived, breathed Secretary of State since I graduated from college, and I think I'll be great at it. And after that, I'm not going to be seeking any higher office, and you can hold me to that. I have no interest, which actually is beneficial in many ways, because I won't be kind of bought and sold. I won't be a slave to these interest groups or anything, because I won't need these massive amounts of money to
further your political ambitions.
Yep.
I would assume that Jocelyn Benson, when she ran for Secretary of State, knew ultimately she was going to run for governor.
Yeah,
and I thought Dana Nessel probably was in the same boat. Somewhere down the line, they decided, that's not the one, but Jocelyn ended up being the thought to that.
She's a little less composed at U of M, Michigan State.
That was an interesting day.
That was,
couple more quick things, if you're okay with. Ranked choice voting is dead.
Good.
Woo-hoo. Did you know that, Kevin?
I didn't know it was dead, but
so I've known that for a few weeks, but it wasn't official until I think a couple days ago. But great news. I did forge a effort to combat that with a ballot question committee. I believe I'm the only candidate to have done that. And so, it is dead. However, it does remain part of my platform because they are going to try again.
2028.
Yep,
coming
2028.
Back with it. They said
so it's on my literature even. So we're going to be fighting ranked choice voting in all statewide elections.
So,
and her website is in the chat, guys. Also in the description below. So,
over the summer when ranked choice voting appeared, Jackson, along with a lot of county parties, we were aggressive on it. We printed up our own, declined to sign.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't see. Well, thank you for doing that.
No, after we printed our own, we were issued some. We thought ours was better.
Yeah.
It was easier to
Decline
handle.
To sign,
it was cleaner. And then events in Jackson, summertime events, which we have some huge ones. Our county fair is huge. And then also, we have a Civil War mustard. Jackson's fortunate. We had one of the top door knockers for Trump Force 47. She lives here in Jackson. She's part of the Jackson GOP. She was all about it. She was circulating declined to sign ranked choice voting and circulating citizens only vote petition.
Yep.
And then we had them at all of our booth tables, and we were turning in stacks, 1.5 to 2 inch thick of ranked citizens only vote. And then we were declined to sign. I will say in Jackson, we did not see anybody circulating ranked choice petitions in Jackson.
No.
I heard other counties they were.
Well, I'm in Oakland,
Mhm.
and so we had an event there to talk about, and I don't know if you know Jackie Eubanks,
Yep.
but she put on, and then a women's club, Annette LeBaron, they put on a nice event educating people on why not to sign, and the circulator, I'm forgetting his name, but he was the main circulator. Crashed the event at the OC at our Oakland County headquarters.
Oh, the main circulator for citizens only vote.
For it.
I see,
Yep, and they were
yeah.
trying to make it a debate, and luckily
good
we
times.
did not allow for that. The chair did a great job of
Oh.
shutting that down, but they were aggressive. I mean, they were showing up to those.
We didn't see them around here, and then it went silent with them in the early fall. It went silent, and then the county clerks unanimously, even the Democrats, says like, "Oh no."
Yep.
And then right after that, all of a sudden it started popping back up again. I
Mhm.
started getting worried, and then of course the great news that came out, I think, end of the last week,
Yeah,
that
that sounds
they're putting it on the shelf.
Yep.
Brings up citizens only vote, very important citizens initiative. They are still circulating. I'd have to think they're close to having their signatures by now, Amanda, because that has been an easy sell.
Yeah.
When we were at these events, I have pictures on my phone with people standing in line to sign that.
I've met a lot of people that didn't realize that you had, like that you could technically vote if you if you didn't have an ID or this or that. Like I just always assumed that's what it was. Like
the only complaint I heard, was redundancy.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need to sign this; it's already law, right?
They
But
were standing in line, and Kelly Powell was sending someone, or herself would be over here almost once every week and a half picking up stacks. It has slowed down, by the way. Get your butt up to the Jackson GOP. We have those. The petitions are still being circulated.
Mhm.
I heard from maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I heard from Deb Drick, the Livingston County chair, that January 10th, I believe, is going to be a big citizens only vote push around the state, like a day, in where they would promote it. And I'm forgetting the organization that's really circulating. Wish I hadn't brought it up. But anyways, a day. I haven't had word or I overlooked the email, but I think that's a good idea. Like one big push around the state where you come to locations and sign, and they would help promote it. I think that's January 10th, but I only heard that from Deb Drick.
I'll reach out to her. I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah.
January 10th.
I was going to reach out to her myself.
Okay.
So
she
that
mentioned
sounds
it on the episode she was on. The last episode we did.
Who?
Deb. She was talking
Deb
about
was.
that. Yeah.
Oh, did she bring it up there?
Yeah.
She's brought it up on her own show since then too. Matter of fact, they were going to do a strategic plan for Livingston County on the 10th and moved it to later in the month because of it. And I'm like, well, I haven't heard anything. So we'll figure that out. Sounds like something fun. You could come up to the Jackson GOP anytime to sign the darn petition. I'm confident that one's going to get on the ballot.
Yeah, should.
I don't know a number. I don't have that number, but no.
The enthusiasm's just been good.
It is
from what
there.
I've noticed.
I did have somebody bring up to me a concern about it and looked into it. And that's actually not, they had to put some language from current law in the petition. So I believe it's like 7 pages if you read it.
Wow.
So somebody was concerned about some language in there. And it's actually existing Michigan law that they were citing. It's not the language that they're putting in to change or to add. So if anybody out there had any concerns about it, that's the story there. Like I said, the redundancy, that's the only negative thing I've heard too. And that's not a thing because it's needed. It's going to be in our Constitution. So
we Republicans are hanging their hat on the fact that will be the ballot initiative to turn out Republican voters. and I really think it is too.
I think it's a strong one.
It's like an
Definitely
80% issue, roughly.
Right. We've been behind the
maybe.
8 ball on ballot initiatives in the last few years, and I think this one here might be the one. So that's great news to me.
Absolutely.
An important issue, and I need Republicans to vote.
Absolutely. Especially with Trump not on the ballot, we're going to need
Yep.
all the help we can get to motivate these voters.
My congressman told me, and he's not normally like this, my congressman told me we were going to go out in front of his office, which is down the road, and help thank Congressman Wahlberg for passing the one big, beautiful bill. You know what he told me? He says, Russ, I don't want you to do that. He goes, I want you out in front of my office. You can park, you can use the bathroom, you can do whatever you want. He goes, but I want you out there promoting all Republicans and putting, even though Trump isn't at the top of the ballot, put him at the top of the ballot.
Oh, yeah.
We need to throw the image that it's important to Trump that we elect Republicans. And so I think that was great that the congressman said that, and he has a great point. We got to put him on the ballot, even though he's not on the ballot. That's how important it is.
Well.
Amanda, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Amanda Love for Secretary of State. The precinct delegates of the state will convene March 28th and elect.
And if you're supporting me, go to your county convention on February 26th to get elected. And
Yes.
then you got to go March 28th too. I believe Novi Show Place is the venue.
That's what I've been telling. And I think it's only one day. I don't think there's
there's not a Friday night
district one.
district.
So that's kind of easy. And if you're in Jackson, precinct delegates, you can stay over there. The candidates usually like to feed you in the night before and do fun stuff. But it's also easy just to drive over there to that.
Mm-hmm.
I've driven farther.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a breakfast maybe, just because there might be getting people. But
Amanda, I love breakfast.
It's a good.
It's a superior.
I've had candidates get me really, really drunk before the night before.
I mean, that's all.
And I like that too.
Yeah.
But you know what I like better than that? Is breakfast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Breakfast is a superior meal.
It is. And
But-
it saves the candidates some money too. Because when we have the
I get
open
it.
bar for Russ.
Boy,
there's
a
only so many
candidate-
campaign donations.
He's
I
the reason why
a candidate for AG a couple of years ago, he's running for governor now, had a open bar and food. And wow, I couldn't imagine what that bar bill was.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Because I know I drank and ate $200-300 worth of merchandise. I
Wow.
barely made it to the convention the next day.
That's
Yeah.
life.
So yeah, I
You
wouldn't have
know, a
wanted to say that.
trick is to go to the person's party who you're not supporting and just get top shelf booze
That's not
all
bad.
night. No, I'm just kidding. I
Thank
never
you.
did that.
Thank you for what you're doing, Amanda.
Yeah,
I am
appreciate it.
so honored that I've got to know you.
Yes.
I think you would
I
be.
think we're friends.
I know we're friends.
All right.
I enjoy seeing the other candidates when I go to events, but I really enjoy seeing you.
I
think you're
appreciate that.
cool and down to earth.
I am. I'm a real person.
You are.
I live in a shack.
Look, she's real. She's not
I'm
a cutter
real.
or cut out or nothing.
I want to be an effective Secretary of State that's going to work for the people
Fair.
and fix your everyday problems.
You've got a cool, laid back demeanor, but I also see seriousness out of you.
Yes, I think that's a good assessment.
Okay, what do you think, Kevin?
I concur.
Okay.
I
I got some announcements and we'll get the heck out of here. I know
Okay.
you have another appointment. And
Yes.
so just give me a few minutes and then
Okay.
you sit there and just
I'll
look
just
at people.
look.
And I did write a lot down a little bit today, Kevin.
you do what you do. I got your website pulled up whenever you're ready.
You know how to get a hold of us, jxngop.org.
That place right here.
We update our website often thanks to our Chief of Staff, Chris Baird. He does a wonderful job on that. And then January 17th, we will not have an Under the Oak Speaker Series in January. We're going to have a candidate forum that Amanda Love is going to be at. All three candidates for Secretary of State will be here, and the two candidates for AG, Attorney General, will be here. And it's not a debate. We're trying to make it a forum. Like we come up with some questions that would be different from this candidate, that candidate. Calling it a candidate forum. That is January 17th. Doors open at 10 o'clock in the morning. Event starts at 11. And we're going to have, donuts and coffee and, Judy and those people are going to bring some yummy food. And we're going to have a candidate forum. And then we're also adding to it, they're not part of the forum, but the other candidates are welcome to come and have a candidate table and, get petitions. And we have confirmation from Genevieve Peters Scott. She's a candidate from for U.S. Senate. And then also Lena Epstein will be here. She is running for University of Michigan Board of Regents, and she's going to explain what that is, what that looks like, and how important that is, because that is very confusing to precinct delegates. So I'm glad Lena's coming to explain that. And if you haven't met Lena Epstein, she's worth meeting. So that's January 17th, guys. JacksonGOP.org. By the way, if you're a Jackson County delegate, it's only $5. If you're any other person, another county delegate, or just members of the public, it's only $10. You can eat $10 worth of food real easy. So JacksonGOP.org for that. Our next Under the Oak Speaker Series won't be till February 12th. I don't know who that guest will be. Just stay tuned to the website. March, we're lining up a chili cook-off, Kevin.
Chili cook-off. I love chili.
We don't have a date for that.
Oh.
It'll be a chili cook-off, and the idea is that the local elected officials will cook the chili, and the people of the community would then judge the chili. And
I like that.
I know, but I have to cook chili. I am an elected official. I'm a township trustee. So they're going to want me to cook some chili.
Did I know that?
I don't know. I am.
Well, I'm going to call you trustee from now on.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm the best trustee. Yeah. And guess what? For a minimal price, you're going to eat all the chili you want. February 26th is the county conventions. You've already been notified of that loosely. You will get the official notification very, very soon of that county convention. That county convention determines the delegates that go to state convention. Here in Jackson, it's real easy. We usually send 36 or so delegates, and then we're allowed 36 alternates, and there's usually, we fill 8 or 9 of them. Everybody goes to the convention. No one's left out. You're either going as a delegate or as an alternate. No one is left out if you want to go. So that is February 26th. The state convention is March 28th. And the end of the year Jackson GOP newsletter will be going out next Monday to wrap up all the great things the Jackson GOP has done this year. Kevin, you know as well as I do, the growth has been tremendous.
Big year.
Tremendous for us. I think Trump Force 47 coming and renting the space, and then us figuring out how to keep the space. It has helped with membership. It has helped with events, on and on. And I can't thank people enough. And we're so blessed at that. So that newsletter will come out. Well, it's already printed, and I've approved it. It'll go out Monday to our list of people. Kelly Sackett, Kalamazoo County Chair, my friend Kelly Sackett, has been elected the chair of chairs for the Michigan GOP in a heated race for that position.
Yeah.
I had thrown my hat in originally, and I didn't want to split the vote. So I backed out, let Kelly do it, and it was against a guy named Cam. I don't know who it is and what county it is. I was sick that day, didn't participate. I did have a proxy, but Kelly Sackett won in an overwhelming vote for the chair of chairs.
The chair of chairs.
It's like the queen bee of chairs. It's like I got a boss, Kevin.
Charge of chairs.
Yeah, she ain't going to boss me around, I'll tell you that. Although I don't mess with Kelly. But that's just some information. We talked about the Mike Rogers Christmas party that we both attended. It was attended by a lot of people that I was surprised.
And then there was you and Todd.
Right. There's 98 who's who of Michigan Republicans, and then me and Todd. Yeah. Sitting there. What are we doing? Anyways, and then Saturday we went to the D2 Christmas party, ugly sweater, and taco bar. That was amazing.
I never eat at these things.
Friday's food stunk. Mike Rogers needs to step up his game on that. D2 threw out that taco bar. I had a big old plate.
Dang.
Big old plate. It was very delicious. That was super fun. And then this is it right here. 10X votes.
Yeah.
Lance Griffin has been working the state promoting 10X votes. The website, okay, he doesn't like us talking about this. The website is under making it more user-friendly.
Yes.
And
it's being upgraded.
If you click on it's being upgraded. If you click on the Michigan, you can't get anywhere right now. It annoys Lance. Because he's selling it hard. He's out there.
Oh, I see him more than I see you, so that should tell you.
He is everywhere.
He is everywhere.
He was just in Jackson. People loved him.
Oh, everybody loves me.
They're all about it.
And the low propensity voters that we were talking about, that's who he's targeting. So, yeah.
That's who we're targeting.
We need to get behind that.
Yeah, and this will give you a great opportunity. And by the way, it'll be updated and up and running again because it's been around a couple of years by the first of the year. You just go on it and you snoop around and we find out if Kevin's voted. We find out if your neighbors have voted. Mm-hmm. It starts with voyeurism in a way.
Yep.
And then what you do is you find 10 people, family members, neighbors, and friends, and you go, hey, you've been got this Trump bumper sticker on your truck, but gosh darn, you haven't voted.
Mm-hmm.
And how can we help you vote? It's a great tool.
Well, and as a candidate, I'm going to really want this early voting and that push. And of course, I love election day just like anybody else, but it saves campaigns a lot of money if you get out there and you vote early.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to robocall you less, text less, mail you less.
You want to avoid the robo-text, the robo-calls, and people knocking on your door? Vote early.
Yeah, if you don't want to be bugged, if you don't want to be bugged, just do it.
Yes.
But it's the minute 10X vote is back up and running, full steam ahead, you can go to 10X Vote at our website, jxngop.org. I made a deal with Lance just the other night that we will provide that. And Kevin, I got that idea because, you go to jxngop.org and access, 8-10 podcasts.
I think that's about right. I was just looking for that.
So, and we did that because there's a lot of wonderful podcasts out there from Livingston counties to Grassroots Army that doesn't exist anymore, to Perithian Action, ours, all kinds of them. And you're like, I don't know how to find them. You know how you find them? You go to jxngop.org, you scroll down the page, boom, click on one.
There it is.
You can go back in time. Michigan Matters. My buddy Mark Fortin, you can go back in time and catch up on them, whatever you want. So I'm going to do the same thing with 10X votes. You forget, you go to the website, boom, 10X votes. So that is coming. I am done, Kevin. Thank you very much today.
Awesome. The only thing I have today, and we didn't touch on it, is Merry Christmas. And
Thank you. This is the Christmas edition.
Yeah, this is the Christmas edition. We'll be back before the new year. So
we are going to be back before that. We talked briefly about not doing it, and then we were like, no, we're going to do it.
Well, you talked briefly, and then you decided in the same breath.
Like I said, last week at 2:00, I was happy that we didn't have to do this, but then I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, my world.
I think the wife was off. I don't know.
I don't know, but
she'll be off next week. I'm coming here and doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this. We'll be here next Monday. I doubt we have a.
Maybe she should be the guest.
Maybe
Sarah's the guest.
She
probably wouldn't be a bad guest.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be bad. But other than that, jxngop.org. It's always in the description, but I'll put it in the chat as well.
Kevin, we didn't do this. You are selling ads.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up real quick. If you are a business owner, a politician, a band, a musician, an artist, whatever, I on my digital network, there's 3 shows. This show, another political based show, and then my show, which is kind of a little bit of everything. And I am selling ad space. Why didn't pull
super
up?
Cheap? Super effective.
Thank you.
You can record it right here in the studio
for free.
For free.
Absolutely, yeah, free, original. Advertisement production.
You can pick this show, Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, all of them.
Any of them, or
$100 a month,
or do them all.
Yeah, $100 a month. You get 2 live reads and 1 recorded per show. Now I do my show 5-6 days a week. And then we plus the other shows.
This one's weekly.
Yeah. So you're looking at a potential of
twice a month.
15 to 17 ads for $100 a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. It's
You
pretty,
know, we were supposed to bring that up beginning of the show. We are selling ads. Kevin's selling ads.
Yeah, I forgot about it too.
These are Kevin's shows, really. I always throw a disclaimer out. This is not a Jackson GOP podcast. This is a Russ and Kevin podcast. He actually owns the podcast. One more thing, it never ends. I'm thinking in January we're going to launch a Jackson GOP only podcast. And so you don't get my opinion as much. You would get things that are happening within an hour with the Jackson GOP. We might change around host, me, Chris Baird, other members, things like that. We're going to do that in January. That will be a Jackson GOP podcast. This one here is not a Jackson GOP podcast.
No.
It is a Russ and Kevin podcast. I can be controversial at times.
Yeah, but I just threw the ad up on the screen, guys. The phone number is on there as well, or just get a hold of one of us and we can.
All right, we got to get out of here. I think Amanda's got to go.
Yeah, time to go.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
And check us out next week, and we will catch you next Monday. No guests yet.
We'll have one. So.
All right. Well, we'll catch you next week, guys, and be safe out there. Merry Christmas.
You've been listening to a Grandma's Boy Media Production.
Welcome to the Stick to the Plan podcast. Michigan's elite political podcast is about to begin, live from the birthplace of the Republican Party.